have number 3, show off your USP or unique selling proposition. So the most important part here to understand as a seller is that in Amazon or on Amazon, there are a bunch of products that are way similar to yours. So what makes you stand out? What makes you different? What should buyers have in mind to buy your product rather than buying your competitor's product? That's where content comes handy. So basically with the content, you have to make sure that you're showing off your USP. So if you're selling a cookie jar, you want to highlight versatility, you have to show the material, you have to show how it's leak proof. And again, it's not just about saying that, but actually showing it. So here with this piece, you can see that you are selling it through emotion, basically. So keep all the flavor in and everything else out. Show with small icons or even close-ups, like photo close-ups, those features you're talking about. Functional and fresh design, high quality ceramics, sustainable bamboo, air seal lids, like all of these things you can show through images or icons in order for people to understand that this is what makes you different and that your product is actually a very high quality product.
You can cross promote categories. That's very good because you're showing other things that you might be able to sell, right? And create that FOMO by naming your kids in a very emotional way. Remember, people are buying based on emotions, needs, wants, desires. So make sure that you have that, the ultimate chef's bundle, the best chef bundle, like something that, it's helping you. If you can't figure it out, don't worry, ChatGPT literally is our best friend right now.
Make sure that you're taking care of the order of your images. Now, it says here, hero image infographic lifestyle, but it will all depend on the type of story or the type of experience that you want to sell through your images. Let's say that you have a product that is extremely emotional. So the first image that you have to show always is the hero image. But the second one could be a lifestyle that shows, I don't know, a family experience or like a Christmas dinner. It will all depend on your product, but definitely remember that the experience that you give them with your image gallery or your image stack has to be relevant to the potential buyer persona. It has to answer questions. It has to give information about your product. So make sure that the order of the images, and we can help you out with that, by the way, if you work with us, tells that experience and tells that story. Apart from this, obviously, make sure that they are visually appealing and answer all of the questions that your customers may have. So not only tell a story, but also make sure that the images are different enough to keep people's attention. Like when you're going through an Instagram carousel, you want each one of the images on the carousel to give you different values. So if you make way too similar images, definitely people are not going to be entertained enough to keep looking and learn more. So you have to keep that in mind. You can upload, for example, the A+ content in different modules. And if I am Hispanic and I have my Amazon menu in Spanish, and your product is in the American market, if I still have that in Spanish and you uploaded your A+ content in Spanish, I'm gonna read it in Spanish. So it's gonna be fully or way easier to process for me. But if you are selling on the Hispanic market or Spain, Mexico, or any country in Latin America, and you upload the A+ content both in English and in Spanish, then people that speak English can also see the A+ content in English, in their language. So make sure you are taking advantage of those features to make sure that you are reaching wider audiences. Depending on your product, you can use different ratios to make sure that you are taking advantage of space. Now, this is not something that is determined by Amazon. You can do this yourself if you want to. So when it comes to products that are like, let's say, taller, for example, again, the water bottle, I would probably use a different ratio of hero image to make sure that I'm taking good advantage of space. And when you go to the mobile view, and I hope my team includes a mobile view right here, it takes more space out of the screen. And again, remember what I told you about keeping the potential buyer interested and keeping the potential buyer looking at your listing for as long as possible. The same thing applies to the search result page and with the hero images. If you have a taller image that takes more space of the screen, then they are looking at your product for longer, which means they are probably thinking of your product more, which probably means that they're gonna click on it and go to your listing. So make sure you take advantage of that. How can you make a perfect hero image? You have to show the product clearly. Again, it has to be on focus. It has to be in a good background, because using a lifestyle background doesn't mean that you don't see the product. If you do it correctly, you will still be able to see the product. You can ensure the compatibility between the text and the visuals This doesn't apply for hero images. Again, this is like a more mixed video between the content and the hero images. But basically, you have to make sure that there's a good balance between the image that you're using and the amount of text you are using, because the product should always be the center of attention. Then, when uploading the image, make sure you use alternative text to provide a text description of the image for accessibility and search engine optimization. All text must be powered, full of keywords. Like, it should be saturated of keywords. Every single description that you use should be filled with keywords. And that is something that you can make sure of when you are uploading every single image on Amazon. When you add that description, it's not necessarily going to show on Amazon, but it will show on the search engine optimizations. And if you search for olive oil dispenser, your product should be right there. And you should be using that keyword on the description of your image. Now, a couple of tips from our team to you. So to create high resolution images or high resolution display, as you can see here, we will see the zoom in. They will zoom in and it does get a little blurry, but that's the compression on Amazon. It's not our image, I promise. So you have to make sure, as I said, I already mentioned, we use a 3000 times 3000 artboard on Photoshop. Again, if you're using Canva, for example, you can have that same size. It's extremely important that it's a big artboard. So again, when it gets compressed and gets zoomed in, it doesn't get blurry. So that's the tip we can give you in terms of size. We have some custom layouts for the mobile format here on Amazon. For example, you will see that the brand story here is completely different from the brand story here on desktop. What you will see is like a quarter of the background, literally this. That you can see it on that recording. So you have to make sure that once the agency that you're working with, or even if you're working by yourself, you are going to upload your brand story on mobile, that the background is optimized for mobile as well, or else it will look completely crazy. So it's important that you can recognize what measurements to use on desktop and what measurements to use on mobile. And again, remember to preview all of the images for both desktop and mobile. Send them to your friends or send them through yourself, through iMessage, through WhatsApp. Even upload them on Instagram, on a secret Instagram, I don't know, so you can take a look on how it looks. Because you making sure that these images work on both formats, desktop and mobile, is extremely important before you even upload the images on Amazon. Because if you upload them on Amazon without double checking and they're not optimized, it will affect you and it will affect your sales. This content completely for free. I am not kidding. This is not clickbait. This is not something we're trying to get more subscribers. You can get a premium A+ content for free. And how can you do it? Let me show you. One small disclaimer I do want to make is that obviously you also have to be brand registered to access premium A+ content, and through that A+ content, or that classic version of the A+ content, is that you will be able to access the premium A+. So let's see how we can do that. This is Band's brand, Gasiquido Creek. It is a bamboo stovetop cover, and it is an incredibly premium and high quality product. Of course, we loved it. We also kept the samples just for our kitchens, and definitely was great to work with. So how did we do it? First and foremost, we uploaded a brand story. It's extremely important that you upload a brand story. Like, that's the first step. And if you don't have a brand story or a team that can help you build a brand story, we are more than available to go ahead and build that for you. It's very easy and it doesn't take a lot of time. So we built this. The cool thing also is that we tested it on PicFu before we even published it. So make sure you A/B test your content. Then the second step is to upload 15 variations of A+ content once a day for 15 days. This means that every single day for the next 15 days, you have to upload an A+ content. So as you can see here, we uploaded 15 variations. What we did, just to make sure that we didn't get rejected, was make small modifications to every single one of the pieces that we created. We changed the color in some of them. We changed the order of the modules in others. And that's more or less what we did. So it shouldn't take you a lot of time in terms of graphic design. What takes time is to actually invest 15 days out of your life to upload one variation every single day. Literally after that, after those 15 days, just 15 days, we got premium A+ content, and without paying a penny.